Well, Jennifer, thanks for those wonderful remarks, and I really want to thank ArtSer for nominating me. You do fabulous work in our state, and please keep up the great efforts that you're doing. It's great to be with you today, though. I want to thank the Americans for the Arts for having an award ceremony like this in partnership with the U.S. Conference of Mayors. I also want to thank the U.S. Conference of Mayors for your outstanding work, and I want to give a big shout out. We've got a great delegation of Michigan mayors here that I'm proud to see representing our state. One thing I would mention is I believe Mayor Duggan would be with you today, a new mayor from Detroit, except I messed him up. I actually asked him to stay behind to help me with a big immigration announcement yesterday. Otherwise, he would be joining you. Jennifer gave you a lot of background. I'm going to simplify things in terms of looking at the arts. If you looked at the state of Michigan, you heard about the Great Recession. Vice President Johnson mentioned the Great Recession. In Michigan, we didn't call it that. We called it the lost decade because we didn't lose just a couple of years. We suffered more than any other state by far. And during that period, essentially, funding for the arts were cut dramatically in many, many different places. As we've come back economically, and we are the comeback state now, and we should be proud of that, we've come back and we've restored funding. But what I would tell you, it shouldn't be that simple. That's not the big issue on the table. And that's not why I hope we're all excited to work together to continue to improve the arts. Because if you think about it, one of the problems we've had with the arts is it was the first to be cut because it was viewed as a nice thing. And too often, it's the last to be restored because let's do many other things, and if there's something left, hey, it might get allocated to the arts. That's not the right approach. And that's not the vision in Michigan that we have. And what I would tell you and what my hope is that we'll all make the commitment to say we need to change the culture of the public sector, of how we view the arts. We need to step up and say the arts is not an additive thing, a nice thing. It's integral to quality of life. It's integral to economic development. It's integral to job growth. The point that we should be looking at in the public sector is our role isn't to create that job nor to do that wonderful piece of art. It's to create that environment for success, to create that environment where our citizens can thrive. And one key element of that is to say arts and cultural is integral with everything else. They all come together and need to be there together and need to be in lockstep to creating that best environment possible for success. So that's why I'm proud to be with you today, is that's the commitment I've made to our citizens, is that arts is not the add-on. It's part of that great environment for the future. And I encourage all of us to work together to send that same message to all Americans. Now, one thing I would suggest to you, it's great to find illustrations of success. And one I'm going to mention that is in Michigan, that's been a great help to me because I get challenged on this position quite often, publicly. And I don't back down, I lay out the facts. And one simple case I can use in Michigan, and I've used it over and again, is a relatively new phenomenon we've had in Michigan called Art Prize in Grand Rapids. And I want to compliment Mayor Hartwell, who was here earlier, for that program. Because basically it's a case where it started several years ago. It brings over 500,000 people to Grand Rapids over a 2 to 3 week period. And if you look at it, they love the art. It's average citizens enjoying wonderful art, participating in an art process. And at the same time, they're filling up every restaurant and every hotel in town. So that's the kind of success story. It's easy to show how they tie together. And at the same time, we need to carry that message. It's not just about Art Prize. It's about the DIA, the Detroit Institute of Arts. It's about all these other fabulous things we have going. That art is not an add-on. Art is part of us. So let's carry that message back. And on behalf of the citizens of Michigan, I happily accept this award with that commitment that we're going to continue on that path of success. Thank you.